Ég ætla bara að hefja næsta myndband. Það barst okkur frá Nghiem, sem framkvæmdastjóri viðbragðssviðs hjá kanadísku strandgæslunni, ásamt því að vera formaður EPPR-vinnuhóps Norðurskautsráðsins Leit og björgun.
Good day, and thank you for the invitation to contribute to this important discussion on search and rescue in the Arctic. My name is Nghiem, and I serve as the Director General of Response Programs at the Canadian Coast Guard, as well as Vice Chair and Head of Canada's delegation to the Arctic Council's Emergency Prevention, Preparedness and Response Working Group. I would like to begin by acknowledging the territories and ancestral lands on which we gather. I am speaking to you from Ottawa, on the unceded territory of the Anishinaabe Algonquin people. As I'm joining you on a virtual platform, I invite each of you to take a moment to recognize the land, sea, and sky in your own region, and to honor and recognize the rich histories and cultures of the Indigenous peoples who have been stewards of these lands for generations. This recognition reaffirms our commitment to local Indigenous peoples and their cultures, and to strive for a more inclusive and equitable future together. It is always a pleasure to join partners and colleagues dedicated to strengthening Arctic search and rescue. Today, I would like to begin by focusing on three themes: the operational realities of search and rescue in the Arctic, the importance of cooperation, and the emerging factors shaping our shared future. Search and rescue in the Arctic is complex and continually evolving. While the Arctic is not a monolith, the challenges related to search and rescue operations are shared across Arctic nations. Remoteness, limited infrastructure, extreme weather, and the sensitivity of the environment are challenges we all face. These are not abstract issues. They are daily operational constraints that shape how quickly and effectively we can respond. These challenges are further complicated by geopolitical and economic interests, along with climate change, which is accelerating at a faster rate than anywhere else on the planet. The resulting increase in maritime traffic, scientific activity, and resource exploration means more demand for search and rescue services in a complex and remote operational region. In short, more activity, more risk, and more pressure on our collective response systems. In Canada, the Canadian Coast Guard, along with the Canadian Armed Forces, provides search and rescue coverage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, along 243,000 kilometers of coastline, the longest in the world. Our responsibilities span major inland waterways, including the Great Lakes, as well as the Pacific, Atlantic, and Arctic Ocean. We respond nearshore, midshore, and offshore, often across immense distances and in difficult conditions. What makes our delivery successful is not only our assets and personnel, it is our commitment to coordination and partnerships. At the national level, our system brings together the Canadian Coast Guard, the Canadian Armed Forces, and a network of provincial, territorial, municipal, and community partners. Thousands of community-based volunteers, particularly in remote regions, play a pivotal role. Most often, when an incident happens in a remote area, the first responder is a local community member. Supporting these responders and ensuring their safety is central to our approach. This model is especially important in the Arctic, where strong partnerships with northern and Indigenous communities are critical in supporting our capacity to respond. Their knowledge, situational awareness, and leadership are indispensable to effective search and rescue operations. The same principle applies internationally. Shipping is inherently global. Vessels cross oceans and exclusive economic zones every hour of every day. When an emergency happens, when a vessel is disabled, when a crew member is injured, and when a distress call is issued, the incident does not respect borders. Search and rescue unfolds according to weather, ice, and time, not lines drawn on a map. Nowhere is this more evident than in the Arctic. The region's extreme cold, unpredictable ice, limited infrastructure, sparse population creates operational challenges unmatched anywhere else. A single incident can span hundreds of nautical miles, involve multiple jurisdictions, and require specialized capabilities. No Arctic nation, on its own, has the full capability to respond to every scenario. Search and rescue responsibilities in the Arctic are divided between the 8 Arctic states: Canada, the Kingdom of Denmark, Finland, Iceland, Norway, Russia, Sweden, and the United States. Our shared reality is why cooperation in the Arctic is not optional, it is essential. This is why Canada, along with the other Arctic nations, signed the Agreement on Cooperation on Aeronautical and Maritime Search and Rescue in the Arctic in 2011. And this is why we actively contribute to search and rescue collaboration through the Arctic Council's Emergency Prevention, Preparedness and Response Working Group, and the Arctic Coast Guard Forum. Canada also works bilaterally with partners like Iceland to further strengthen coordination, share information, and improve how we operate and cooperate across the Arctic and North Atlantic. The letter of intent signed last year by the Canadian and Icelandic Coast Guards reflects our shared commitment and mutual interest in turning cooperation into practical activities like joint exercises, training, and operational planning. These are not symbolic gestures. They are operational commitments that directly improve our readiness. At its core, search and rescue is humanitarian and is all about saving lives. Successful outcomes depend on speed, coordination, and unity of effort. It is this shared purpose that brings Arctic states together. When a life is at risk, cooperation becomes instinctive. Looking ahead, several factors are shaping the future of search and rescue in the Arctic. Climate change will continue to drive the need for innovative, modernized, and more adaptive approaches that can help keep pace with the demands for search and rescue services. We will need to anticipate, not just react to, changing patterns of activity and risk. Our commitment in Canada to reconciliation with Inuit, First Nations, and Métis communities will also continue to shape how we deliver services and support approaches that are developed in the North, by the North, and for the North. This is not only a policy direction, it is a practical necessity for effective operations. Strategic cooperation and collaboration through local, national, and international mechanisms will continue to strengthen our preparedness, predictability, safety, and security through exchanges of experience and expertise, and help reinforce our operational readiness in how we deliver search and rescue. Lastly, technological advancements are changing the landscape. Satellite-enabled distress alerts, improved connectivity, and emerging tools like remotely piloted systems are improving how we detect and respond to incidents. And these advancements also bring new complexities, more alerts, more data, and a growing need for better integration across systems. Technology will not replace coordination. It will make coordination even more essential. The future of search and rescue is not just about more capability, it's about greater coordination and collaboration. It is about ensuring that our systems can work together across jurisdictions and that information can flow quickly and that we're able to adapt as risks evolve. It also means continuing to invest in partnerships at the community level, nationally, and internationally. Because in the Arctic, coordination and collaboration is not optional. It is essential. Canada is committed to working with Iceland and other partners to strengthen search and rescue across the Arctic. By combining operational experience, trusted partnerships, and innovative approaches, we can continue to support the safety, security, and prosperity of people living and working in the North. And conferences like this one play a vital role by bringing together practitioners, researchers, policymakers, and community leaders to share insights and strengthen the collective knowledge that underpins our work. Thank you again for this opportunity to contribute to today's discussion.